It's Saturday morning. Your eyes open. Before you even fully wake up, you reach for your phone. Force of habit. 3 group chats blowing up. 5 event invitations. 2 we should catch up texts. A dozen notifications from people who want your time, your attention, your energy. And somewhere deep in your chest, you feel it. Not excitement, not anticipation, exhaustion. You're not antisocial. You're not depressed. You're not lazy. You're just done. Done with the noise. Done with the obligations. Done with showing up for people who wouldn't cross the street for you. And for just a moment, maybe it's the first honest moment you've had in weeks, you have a radical thought. What if I just stayed home? There's a moment in every man's life when the world feels loud. Too loud. Too chaotic. Too demanding. Everyone wants something from you. Everyone has an opinion about what you should be doing, where you should be going, who you should be becoming. And yet, here's what most people never realize. The greatest transformation often begins in the quietest place. Your own home. People think power is built by being everywhere. Networking constantly. Talking to everyone. Staying busy, staying visible, staying relevant. The hustle culture evangelist will tell you that if you're not grinding 24/7, if you're not building your personal brand, if you're not constantly connecting and collaborating, you're falling behind. But Stoicism teaches the exact opposite. A man becomes strongest when he withdraws, not to escape the world, not to hide from responsibility, not to give up on his purpose, but to master himself before re-entering the world. Today, I'm going to show you why staying home, even for a while, can be the most powerful, life-changing decision you ever make. This isn't about becoming a hermit. This isn't about fear or weakness or isolation. This is about intentional solitude, the ancient practice that built the strongest minds in history. By the end of this video, you'll understand why the smartest men in the room are often the ones who know when to leave it. Let's dive in. Sorry for the interruption. If this resonated with you, please subscribe and comment your "once subscribed." Give me motivation. Let's start. Principle 1. You escape the noise and reconnect with yourself. The world is full of noise. Not just physical noise, though God knows there's enough of that. I'm talking about psychological noise, emotional noise, spiritual noise. Everyone has an opinion about how you should live, what you should believe, what you should want, what success should look like for you. Your parents have their expectations. Your friends have their judgments. Society has its standards. Social media has its metrics. And somewhere in all that noise, your voice gets drowned out. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor who ruled Rome during its most turbulent period, understood this deeply. He wrote in his private journal, never meant for publication, these words: "Nowhere can a man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." Think about that. The most powerful man in the ancient world, with access to every luxury, every distraction, every pleasure Rome could offer. He knew the truth. The quietest place isn't some remote mountain temple. It's within you. When you stay home intentionally, not out of fear, not out of laziness, but as a deliberate choice, something extraordinary happens. You disconnect from all that external noise, and you reconnect with your own thoughts. Here's what actually happens. Your mind, which has been scattered across 100 different priorities and people, begins to consolidate. Your thoughts, which have been interrupted every 3 minutes by notifications and obligations, begin to deepen. Your decisions, which have been clouded by others' opinions and expectations, begin to clarify. Home becomes your sanctuary, not a prison, not a hiding place. A sanctuary, a sacred space where you can hear yourself think, where you can feel what you actually feel, not what you're supposed to feel, where you can want what you actually want, not what you've been told to want. You finally hear your own voice, not your mother's voice telling you to be practical, Not your friend's voice telling you to come out. Not society's voice telling you to be more, do more, achieve more. Your voice. And that voice, it's been trying to tell you something for a long time. Maybe it's time to listen. Principle 2. You build the discipline others lack. Here's an uncomfortable truth about modern life. Most people are addicted, not to substances, though that's common enough. They're addicted to stimulation, to movement, to noise, to distraction, to the constant dopamine hit of new notifications, new content, new conversations, new experiences. They literally cannot sit still. Put the average person in a quiet room with nothing but their thoughts for 20 minutes, and they'll experience something close to panic. Studies have shown people would rather electrically shock themselves than sit alone with their thoughts. Let that sink in. Physical pain is preferable to mental solitude. When you choose to stay home, when you resist the constant pull to go out, be seen, stay busy, you're training a rare skill. Self-discipline. You're learning how to sit with your thoughts without drowning in them. You're learning how to be bored without immediately reaching for your phone. You're learning how to create instead of consume. You're learning the almost superhuman strength of delayed gratification. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher who served as advisor to Emperor Nero, said something that cuts through all the modern productivity nonsense. To be everywhere is to be nowhere. Read that again. To be everywhere is to be nowhere. The person who tries to be at every event, in every conversation, visible on every platform, connected to everyone, that person is nowhere. Scattered, fragmented, diluted. They're a presence, but they're not present. They're busy, but they're not productive. They're connected, but they're not grounded. Staying home teaches you to be fully present, fully focused, fully grounded in yourself. This is something few people ever master. In a world where everyone is addicted to distraction, your ability to sit in stillness becomes a competitive advantage. While they're scrolling, you're thinking. While they're consuming, you're creating. While they're scattered across 100 shallow connections, you're developing depth in the few that matter. This is discipline, not the loud, aggressive, motivational speaker screaming at you discipline. The quiet, patient, unshakable discipline that actually changes your life. Principle 3. You outgrow people who drain your energy. Here's something nobody tells you about solitude. It reveals truth. When you spend time alone, real time, not just a few hours between obligations, something interesting starts to happen. The relationships in your life come into sharp focus. Distance reveals who actually matters. You start to notice patterns you've been too busy to see. Who only calls when they need something? You know the type. Radio silence for months, then suddenly they're texting because they need a favor, need advice, need you to show up for them. But when you needed them, nowhere to be found. Who is chronically negative or jealous? The friend who can never celebrate your wins. Who always has a yeah, but when you share good news. Who subtly undermines your goals while pretending to support you. Who distracts you from your purpose. The people who pull you into drama, gossip, and meaningless activities. Who make you feel guilty for prioritizing your growth. Who say they miss you, but really just miss having access to your energy. Who brings chaos wherever they go. The walking tornado of poor decisions and emotional instability, who somehow makes their problems your problems. Who thrives on drama and pulls you into their orbit. When you stay home and create space, your mind gains the clarity to understand who actually belongs in your life. Not who you're obligated to tolerate. Not who you feel guilty abandoning. Who genuinely deserves access to your time, energy, and inner world. This is how you protect your peace. This is how you build a circle that actually supports your growth instead of sabotaging it. The Stoics understood that your associations shape your character. Epictetus taught his students, Keep company with people who are likely to improve you, not people who flatter you, not people who enable your worst habits, people who challenge you to be better, people who inspire you by their example, people who respect your boundaries and your solitude. When you return from your period of intentional solitude, you return with a clarified understanding of who deserves to be in your life. And more importantly, the strength to enforce those boundaries. Not cruelly, not arrogantly, but firmly, because you've learned something most people never learn. Access to you is a privilege, not a right. Principle 4. You gain the power of emotional independence. Most people are emotionally dependent. They rely on others for entertainment, for validation, for happiness, for their sense of self-worth. They need someone to text them good morning to feel wanted. They need weekend plans to feel fulfilled. They need likes and comments to feel valuable. They need constant social interaction to avoid facing themselves. This is weakness dressed up as connection. When you stay home, when you learn to be alone without being lonely, you develop a different kind of strength. Self-sufficiency, emotional independence, quiet confidence. Epictetus, who spent years as a slave before gaining his freedom and becoming one of history's most influential philosophers, taught a principle that changed my life. Freedom begins when you no longer depend on anything outside your control, especially people. Think about what that means. True freedom isn't having everything you want. True freedom is not needing anything external to be okay. At home, in solitude, you build a strong emotional core that no one can shake. You learn that you don't need someone to complete you. You're already whole. You learn that you don't need constant excitement. You're comfortable in stillness. You learn that you don't need external validation. You validate yourself. Picture this. Friday night. Everyone's out. Your social media feed is full of people at parties, restaurants, events. The old you would feel FOMO, would feel like you're missing out, would feel pressure to be somewhere, anywhere, just to prove you have a life. The new you, the emotionally independent you, sits at home with a book or working on your project or simply enjoying the silence. And you feel nothing but contentment. Not because you don't have options, because you've learned that your peace is more valuable than other people's approval. When you no longer need people to feel okay, you stop being needy. You stop people-pleasing. You stop tolerating disrespect out of fear of being alone. You engage with others from abundance, not scarcity. From choice, not desperation. From strength, not weakness. This is the power of emotional independence. And it's built in the quiet hours you spend alone, learning to be enough for yourself. Principle 5. You improve your skills without distractions. Here's the biggest advantage that nobody talks about. Your home becomes your training ground, your personal dojo, your laboratory for self-transformation. When you stay home intentionally, you're not just resting. You're building. You learn. You read. You study. You practice. You create. You develop skills quietly while the rest of the world is wasting time. While they're at the club, you're reading the books that will change your thinking. While they're gossiping, you're learning the skills that will change your income. While they're scrolling, you're creating the work that will change your legacy. Every great thinker spent long hours alone. Every philosopher found their insights in solitude. Every writer produced their masterpieces in isolation. Every leader developed their vision in quiet contemplation. Marcus Aurelius wrote Meditations, a book that has influenced millions for 2,000 years. In his private moments, often in a military tent during campaigns. Seneca wrote his profound letters during his exile. Epictetus developed his philosophy after gaining freedom from slavery, teaching in his modest school. Your home gives you the perfect space to transform yourself. No one is watching. No one is judging. No one is comparing their progress to yours. You can make mistakes privately. You can learn slowly without embarrassment. You can experiment without performing for an audience. This is where deep work happens, the kind of focused, distraction-free work that produces exponential results. Cal Newport, the productivity researcher, found that the ability to do deep work is becoming increasingly rare, and therefore increasingly valuable. While everyone else is operating in a state of continuous partial attention, checking phones, responding to messages, jumping between tasks, you're developing the rare ability to focus deeply for hours. This isn't just about productivity. This is about becoming a fundamentally more capable version of yourself. Sharper, smarter, more skilled, all because you chose to stay home and do the work that matters instead of wasting time doing what everyone else does. Principle 6. You save your energy for what actually matters. Energy is finite. You only have so much in a day, in a week, in a lifetime. And here's what most people don't realize. Their energy is constantly leaking into nonsense, into drama, into gossip, into pointless conversations, into social pressure, into noise, into chaos. When you go out constantly, try to maintain 100 shallow connections, attending every event, responding to every invitation, your energy disperses. It spreads so thin that you have nothing left for what actually matters. No energy for your purpose. No energy for your growth. No energy for the people who deserve it. No energy for yourself. But when you stay home, when you become highly selective about where and how you spend your time, your energy becomes focused, contained, strong. You learn to say no, not apologetically, not with elaborate excuses. Just no. You learn to keep your circle small, not because you're antisocial, but because you understand that meaningful relationships require energy investment. Better to have 5 deep friendships than 50 shallow acquaintances. You learn to protect what matters. Your time becomes valuable because you treat it as valuable. Your attention becomes a gift because you're selective about who receives it. Your energy becomes a weapon, sharpened, not wasted. Think of your energy like water in a glass. Spread it across a table, and it evaporates quickly, leaving nothing. Contain it in a vessel, and it becomes something you can drink from, something that sustains you. Focus it into a high-pressure stream, and it can cut through stone. That's what staying home does for your energy. It transforms it from something that evaporates into something that transforms. Principle 7. You become comfortable with solitude, the mark of a strong man. Here's how you know if you're truly strong. Can you sit alone in a quiet room for an hour without your phone, without distraction, without anxiety? Most people can't. Most people fear being alone more than almost anything else. Why? Because being alone means facing yourself, your thoughts, your regrets, your fears, your unfulfilled potential, your uncomfortable truths. Weak men run from this. They stay busy. They stay distracted. They stay surrounded by noise and people and stimulation because silence is terrifying. Strong men embrace solitude. Solitude is where your mind grows. It's where your purpose becomes clear. It's where your emotional strength increases. It's where you process your experiences instead of just accumulating them. It's where you become yourself instead of a reflection of everyone around you. When you stay home and learn to enjoy your own company, genuinely enjoy it, not just tolerate it, you unlock a level of confidence most people will never experience. You stop chasing people. You stop craving attention. You stop needing validation. You become whole on your own. And here's the paradox. When you stop needing people, they're drawn to you. When you stop chasing validation, respect comes naturally. When you become comfortable alone, you're finally ready for genuine connection. Because now you're not connecting from neediness. You're connecting from wholeness. Not because you need them to complete you, but because you choose to share your already complete self with them. That's the mark of a truly strong man. Not someone who needs to prove himself. Not someone who fears his own company. Someone who is so grounded in himself that he can stand alone and still stand tall. Let's come back to where we started. Saturday morning, phone buzzing, notifications flooding in. Everyone wants your time, but this time you smile. Not because you're antisocial, not because you don't care, but because you've learned something most people never learn. Your peace is more valuable than their approval. Staying home isn't about hiding from the world. It's about preparing yourself to return to it stronger, wiser, and more disciplined. This is how you rebuild your mind. You escape the noise and reconnect with your deepest self. You build the discipline that sets you apart from the distracted masses. You identify and distance yourself from people who drain your precious energy. You develop emotional independence that no one can shake. You improve your skills in focused solitude while others waste time. You learn to protect and focus your energy like a laser. You become comfortable, even powerful, in your own company. This is how you protect your peace. This is how you rise quietly while everyone else is distracted by noise. When you strengthen the world inside you, the world outside can no longer shake you. This is the path of Stoicism. This is the path of inner mastery. This is the path of a man who controls his life, not the other way around. So here's your challenge. This weekend, or whatever your next day off is, cancel one thing. Just one. That party you felt obligated to attend. That meetup that secretly drains you. That commitment you made out of guilt. Cancel it. Not with an elaborate excuse. Not with guilt. With purpose. Stay home intentionally. Read that book you've been putting off. Work on that project that actually matters to you. Sit in silence and just think. Rest without apology. Then come back to this video. Tell me in the comments, what did you discover about yourself in that silence? What voice did you finally hear when the noise stopped? Which of these 7 principles resonated most with your current life situation? I read every comment. Your journey matters. Your solitude is not weakness, it's wisdom. If this message resonated with you, you're part of a rare group. People who understand that true strength isn't always loud. That power doesn't require constant visibility. That the greatest transformations happen in the quietest places. Your home is waiting. Your sanctuary is calling. Your strongest self is born in solitude. This is Stoic true wisdom. Your freedom starts now. This is Stoicism and Stoic. Your freedom starts now.